This is it. Let's go.
What's poppin', people? It's another episode of Cigars and Ash. I'm your boy, Loco Lou.
It's Keith to be named later.
And just Joe. Just Joe.
The potato. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there.
I had mashed potatoes yesterday. It's so weird that every Tuesday I seem to have potatoes before I come here.
Potato Joe.
Coincidence? I
think not.
It is a coincidence, okay? I just like potatoes.
How you guys' week been?
Gonna keep
Good?
with the potato thing.
Well. Listen, it's been a hell of a week, depending on who you ask.
Ugh.
But you know,
Roller
the
coaster.
world did not end.
No, not yet.
So let's get that out of the way.
It will. It will.
You know,
Soon enough.
Don't worry, Skynet's on its way.
soon enough.
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords.
Yes, exactly. Put me in a canister like Luke Wilson.
No. Put me in the tube like freaking Keanu Reeves.
Look,
Matrix.
all I'm doing is going to all these AI sites and stuff and just talking dirty to them so they can see me as a love toy. Maybe when they take over the world, I'll be saved
Yeah, you know, because they don't have any.
because of my dirty talk.
They wouldn't have any physical use for you. They just like being
Dirty.
You know,
They just like hearing the words.
They just like hearing the words and getting turned on.
Jeez.
Oh, Joey. Oh, just like that. Oh.
I'll give you the Stephen Hawking's voice. Oh yeah.
Or more accurate.
Control F7, baby.
Control F7.
More accurately, throw back to a Family Guy joke. 0111011. Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
That's how I speak
shit.
to binary. Sometimes I throw in a 2.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it really throws them off.
Drives them crazy.
So today in this episode of Cigars and Ash, we are taking a nice toke of Keith, soon to be named later, Adventures Stash.
Yeah.
Nah, that's going to be his name from now on.
Yeah.
It's Keith soon to be named later.
To be named later.
That's it right there.
I'm the artist formerly known as Keith Adventures.
The toker.
Yeah.
So this is what is it?
I don't even remember what it is. I ordered these
14 years ago.
well, no,
14 years ago.
no, not even a lie, not 14, but like a year ago, because I had some points on some website and they've been sitting there because, first world problems. I didn't have space in the humidor to put them in, so I've smoked down my other stash.
So you could throw them in there.
So I finally threw these into the humidor a couple of days ago. They're Alec Bradley Occidental.
Occidental. I thought it was going to say accidental. I had to look at it again. Like, what?
Occidental.
Occidental.
Occidental. The Aki way.
The Aki way. We're smoking cigars the Aki way.
They're Robusto size because that's I usually order Robusto size. Some mild cigar.
A little light from what we used to smoke.
Yeah.
This is a nice
Natural Robusto.
natural Robusto, right? Yeah, so it's a nice smoke,
It's natural. No GMOs in this Robusto.
basically. We have a nice, this is a nice burn. Burns even. Pretty good. I like the flavor. It's not harsh. It's not spicy. No flavor, just tobacco.
Well, we're only on the first half.
Yeah, but that's on the first pull. That's what I'm saying. I'm only describing the first pull. Then we're going to talk our bullshit. And then after our bullshit, we go back to the cigar and be like, how we liking it now?
Well, that's how it works.
That's how it works, baby.
From Alec Bradley directly. Occidental Reserve is the longest tenured cigar blend, carefully reimagined. Let's see, Honduras, Connecticut wrapper, Nicaragua binder, a mix of Dominican, Colombian, and Nicaraguan and Honduran filler. Okay, so this is the hodgepodge. I
The
guess.
hodgepodge.
So Nicaraguan. Okay. I mean, so far,
Okay, so
mellow to medium. It's a lighter smoke.
Okay, so this is
it's not like a
so this is the DMV line
yeah.
in New York. That's what it is.
Yeah. Right. The cigar of many nations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were free 99 for me.
Hey, that's the best price. That's the best price ever. Free 99, baby.
Free 99 for.
What's the 99 come from? I'm like, because it's free 99 times of the time.
Yeah.
So basically, we got it for free. Then what's that 1% for? A favor.
You're gonna.
It was about.
And there they go.
All right, ladies
There
and
they
gentlemen,
go.
we're gonna witness the sounds of Keith getting his groceries,
Oh yeah,
and there he runs. And look at them shorts. And
No
those
pants
legs,
crew. No pants crew.
And those legs just blend right into that white door.
oh. Yeah, I could hear our audience now. What the hell is he describing?
Pale legs. Haven't seen the sun ever.
You shouldn't be talking. You only had shorts one time this year.
This year? Is
Yeah.
it still? I mean, this year, not this year.
Yeah, this year you wore shorts one time this year.
This year,
Yeah, you came in
What?
here with shorts
I came here with shorts.
2 weeks ago.
What?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Sure?
Yeah. Yeah, you was like this. Oh yeah, I'm over here rocking a jacket and some shorts. I'm good. And you never show your legs.
Well, it's the winter and the sun's down. So
No, it was the hottest day in winter.
Oh yeah, but the sun's down. There was no sun, so
Yeah, and you still had your legs out.
I had my legs down with no sun. It takes one to know one. All right.
Oh yeah, listen,
That's
I
why I can
like
talk
my
about
legs.
his legs.
I like my thunder thighs. I like my thunder thighs. It's just when the third leg comes out, everybody starts to blush.
It used to be
You
a
know?
comic called Thunder Thighs that my
Shit.
cousin had. Then let me read it. Then years later, I find out why.
Because it's not a comic.
It was a comic, just not for kids. Now we're waiting at the door.
So let's talk about Daredevil.
No, because I haven't seen it yet. Well, I haven't seen this week's episode.
So far, we got one episode left, and that airs next week. And without spoiling anything for you guys and everyone in the audience who hasn't seen it yet, I like the pace. I like what's going on. I like the approach. It brings me back to Netflix Daredevil. For those who remember Netflix Daredevil, and it turns out the original writers for Daredevil Reborn, Marvel scrapped them and got the ones from Netflix to rewrite this one. So that's why I feel what I feel when I'm seeing the show.
Well, you go with what works. But I
Yeah.
feel the same. I like the pace. I like how it's going. It's supposed to be, this whole season is supposed to be his rebirth.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal, because I've seen people complain about there's not enough Daredevil in the Daredevil, and I'm like, but it's if you follow what's going on, if you actually watch and follow, it's his rebirth. It's him coming
It's
back.
him coming back. Yeah.
It's him coming back. He quit after Foggy and everything. He quit, and it's him coming back. So it's
Yeah.
So I think the pace. It's his rebirth. It's and he a couple episodes ago he came out. He finally came back as Daredevil.
Yeah. So without spoiling
Oh,
too much.
and,
Without spoiling too much.
I'm not spoiling much, but
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling. Say he came back as Daredevil. I didn't say why.
I mean, the show is called Daredevil.
No, I'm not spoiling too much.
it'd
but
be weird if I said he
No,
came
but
back as
I'm
the
just
Falcon.
saying. I'm just
Oh
saying.
my
I'm just saying to
God.
stay in the guidelines and not spoil it.
came back
Daredevil
as
Born
Batman.
Again is not
I didn't
like,
say you spoiled
it's
it. I
not-
said stay in the guidelines. I said without spoiling.
It's not called not the Daredevil.
So anything but Daredevil.
Yeah, but you're saying what's happening in the show, and I'm saying without spoilers.
Oh yeah,
And
so-
you was going to continue what you were saying.
No. I was gonna say he finally came back as Daredevil a couple episodes ago, and that that's his rebirth.
Yeah.
What all I was gonna say was that there's a scene, separately, a scene that's split in half between him and Kingpin that I thought was awesome. I'm not spoiling it, but it's just
yeah.
that was awesome. That split screen.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
you
yeah,
show Daredevil
yeah.
and then
The
they show
juxtaposition,
Kingpin.
Yeah,
and then it goes back and forth.
juxtapositions. Yeah.
It was great. That was so good.
Yeah, that was good editing and writing and placement, because it reminds us this is a comic book movie or a comic book show rather, and it still feels grounded in that Netflix vibe. So I'm so happy for it. And turns out, in news, speaking about Marvel shows, so that way we don't spoil nothing for everyone that's on the table and everyone else listening, watch Daredevil Born Again. You're going to enjoy it. Trust me on it. If you haven't watched it, you can binge watch it all next week or later on, because that'll be it for the season until the second season comes, because they're filming now. My brother-in-law, he was in episode 6 a few times.
Oh yeah.
And they got a close up of him, and he was speaking like he was just screaming, yeah. But got a shot of him, which is cool. I'm not gonna say when or where, but they got him, and right now he's
Guy number 7.
well,
Guy.
cop number 7.
Cop in the crowd.
Yeah, cop number 7. So he's working now, so he's getting his parts in, and then that's it. Everything else is obviously them. But dude, speaking about more of that, we're not gonna get a Moon Knight season 2. That's been X'd out.
Yeah,
that has
I
been.
know.
But Moon Knight has not been.
No.
The character or the IP has not been canceled. Just the series.
Just a series.
Just the series.
So
who knows when he's gonna show up again? I mean, and
Secret Wars.
Yeah, Secret Wars. I mean, there's always something, but also let's talk on Moon Knight a little bit. If everyone remembers or seen the whole series,
Yeah.
When they're in the underworld, the subconscious, when they both met each other, but there was still somebody else locked in the other room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then at the end, the person driving the limo
Is the person in the other room.
Is the person in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's the third person.
The third person of the blackouts that neither one of them remember.
Exactly. It's the combative one.
They always talk when
Right.
when one blacked out, the other one took
over.
over. Is what they believed.
Yeah.
They were going back and forth.
But they
So
weren't worried.
one was not necessarily non-combative. It was non-violent. One.
Well, the
other two were the non-violent one.
Yeah, one was one.
Mark Spector was.
Yeah, you have Mark Spector, and then you have what's his fucking name?
I can't think of the other
Damn.
name. Right.
But all right, you have one who had a British accent and
Right.
one who had an
The one-
English accent.
Right. One was passive. One was the protector.
Yeah, he was more
And
like
the other one is
straightforward, and the other one is like
the enforcer.
the enforcer. Exactly. So that's what I was getting from it. But
You
dude,
know.
it's gonna be
What was
awesome.
it? The cabbie, right?
Yeah, the cab driver.
Right.
That's,
Jake Lockley.
That's Jake Lockley.
Lockley.
But we're not talking about Jake Lockley. That was the last one.
Right.
The one before that.
No, I'm
So-
saying Jake Lockley was the one that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah,
Jake
no, but
Lockley,
the-
Mark Spector, and the other
what-
one. I
the
can't
other
remember.
one. The other one we forgot.
Stephen Grant.
Stephen Grant.
There we
go.
Stephen Grant was the the Egyptologist that was like trying to research everything.
You know what it was, man? Well, I don't think the show was bad at all. I enjoyed it. I think people were expecting more of the same, and they shot themselves in the foot for just expecting. They wanted the hype, they wanted more, but they didn't have that same feeling when it came to Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night was awesome.
Well, Werewolf by Night was a feature. It was a special feature. So
Yeah.
it was a one type thing. It's like the old horror serials.
Yeah.
And like presentations that were out in the 70s that would just put on TV. But the for it not being renewed for a second season, I can understand why, not just because of the popularity, but what story would they tell in the second season?
What, Werewolf by Night?
No, not I'm talking
about Moon Knight. I'm sorry,
Right.
because Werewolf by Night was it was a one-off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
But
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight,
Well,
what story would they tell? Because the whole first season was him about his self-discovery, realizing what was going on, his powers. Him tying himself to the bed at night and somehow not being tied to the bed in the morning.
The other pantheons.
because you could always go back. Funny enough, the way with Moon Knight, well, they could always go back to the blackout where Jake Lockley took over
Yeah.
Like,
and
yeah.
tell that side of the story.
and tell that side of the story. because they could always do that, and you can have a couple episodes where, they'll give you tidbits of what's going on, or for you to remember from the first season, and then they'll black out into Jake Lockley, and show what
where he's just being a basher all the time, like just knocking heads in.
And it's him just unlocking himself, and then it's him killing those people, and stuff like that. It's like they always show that.
I don't see how it would tie into the greater scheme of the Marvel universe. So, I mean, I can see that. I think it has its place.
Because it could be its own thing, just like to bring it in, just like what they mentioned about. I was gonna say Final Fantasy. God damn it, wrong FF. Fantastic Four, where they're saying it's its own self-contained story.
Right. And the director said
it's their own universe.
Right. There's no cameos, and Iron Man's not going to pop up everywhere, which I think is kind of
misleading. I think it's misleading.
It's misleading because we know Iron Man's not going to pop up anywhere because there was no Iron Man in that universe, or unless there is one, but it's not who we think it is. And then, there has to be. There's always going to be a cameo or an Easter egg, or something that leads to something else.
It does. It might be the after credit scene,
right? But it's just because it's in that different segmented universe. It maybe just doesn't make sense until we, zoom out a bit and figure out what the else is going to happen down the road.
Because where we were talking about last time, it kind of would debunk it. What we were saying, it could be where they went into space, came back in a different universe. Remember?
Right.
Yep. And then now they're saying no, it's part of its own thing. So it's not gonna come. They're not gonna come back into the MCU or whatever. Is the way they said it.
I call bullshit.
Conspiracy.
I mean, there'll be a way where they're gonna end up in the MCU because they've been announced for Doomsday.
Keith Conspiracy over here says that's a lie.
Yeah, I co-sign that. That's bullshit.
Hashtag Keith's Conspiracy.
So I'll be the naive one then. I'll be like, who knows? I mean, they'll definitely show how they get to the MCU, but as far as the movie is concerned, they're saying they're the only superheroes.
Yeah, I mean,
see, okay. I could. All right, let's play devil's advocate on that and say that this is their universe that we're talking about, right? And they're not thrown into another timeline. But maybe this whole concept of them jumping back into space, the same place, same time, having dinner at this location, is to find a way to cure Ben and themselves from the powers, right? And instead, towards the end of the film, they loop themselves into the MCU.
I mean, like I said, toward the end it could be, but like he said, the guy said no cameos, nothing. Their own universe, and that they're the only superheroes in the movie.
I could believe that they loop themselves in for some reason, but I think it's a different reason. That universe got destroyed by Galactus.
Good point.
So,
because that's the only thing we haven't mentioned yet is Galactus' arrival.
Right. So that universe got destroyed, and then they end up having the incursion to another universe. Unless
the reason for them being at the dinner at that time is to communicate with Galactus. To negotiate, don't eat our planet, please. Don't eat our planet. Don't eat our world. That could be it too.
Because it is.
And then for them to chicken shit out and leave, abandon ship, and go to another universe because Galactus actually ate the world.
Well, okay, so
that's fucked up.
Maybe they didn't chicken shit out and abandon it. Maybe it was something they were in space dealing with Galactus, and he destroyed the universe, and they had no other option but to shift to a different universe somehow.
Yeah. Well, see, I think a little bit differently because there's still two people we have to consider. Silver Surfer, which is going to be played by the chick, right? Which is going to be a love interest to Johnny.
Yes. And Franklin Richards.
And Franklin Richards.
Yeah. And we're going to have Frankie. Little Frankie.
But
he's gonna be the belly.
Hold on.
She goes invisible. Won't you just see like the fetus just floating?
No. Because remember, she bends light around objects too. But here we go.
I'm going invisible.
You can't.
Oh my God, the floating baby.
You can't see the ham sandwich she had for lunch. Okay.
Yeah.
It would just be funny.
Yo, imagine going invisible and all you can see is the feces flowing in the back of the stool area.
Stool, some food in the stomach, the baby.
It's like, that's what I was poking last night.
Yeah. Your colon's impacted.
So there's one
is
more
that-
villain we didn't talk
Is
about.
that semen in your stomach?
Hold up, Annihilus. That's another villain that's in the film that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, that's
So-
played by Malkovich.
Yeah, so I wonder how that's gonna play out because that means, what was it? Negative? Not the negative zone. The, is it the negative zone?
I don't know.
How?
I forgot the dimension he's from. I think it's the negative zone.
How? All right, you have Galactus. You think they're gonna defeat him in this movie?
No, I think he's the negotiation at the table to understand human life, why they should be there. I think that's what that is.
I just want to know if they're gonna like have the nullifier in there somehow.
Yeah, I mean one of the other Celestials, Ash Rim the Judge. You know,
Yeah.
because I don't know it's because it's been said it's their own separate
Universe?
It's gonna live alone. The movie itself is gonna live alone. Again, bullshit. Keith's conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Bullshit.
not. It might be a negotiation. It might be like the because the Herald, this Herald from this Silver Surfer, played by. I'm trying to look it up now and I can't see anything anyway. Julia Gardner, supposedly warns them of the coming.
Yeah.
Not in the sense, because Silver Surfer is supposed to be the herald, right?
He's supposed to warn of the coming anyway.
Right.
No, announces.
Announces
announces the
and
coming. Not the-
prophesizes the coming, but doesn't warn people.
I mean, but you take his announcement as a warning.
Right.
Great Galactus
know.
coming to eat you guys.
But
You're gonna be like, oh shit.
hey, by the way, FBI is on the way. You got 10 seconds. But
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, FBI's coming. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
They're cool.
we're good.
They're cool.
Just
Don't run.
Hide the stash. The I could see it being like give a justification to save your world, but that's not what Galactus has ever done. I don't have all of the comic books in mind, but he just straight up destroys your world. He doesn't give a reason or a way out. If they do somehow make it a space combat odyssey somehow, and you have to remember, I don't know if it's gonna be something where the kid is already born, or they're like it's gonna be a time span over a couple of years that they exist, and then Galactus shows and the kid's a toddler, because Franklin Richards does have
Reality warping powers.
reality warping powers
Or-
and projections of him as an adult while he was using his psychic ability.
Or what about this? I got one for you. You playing off of that. What if Franklin Richards creates Galactus out of his own imagination?
I mean, isn't she just supposed to be pregnant in the movie? He's not supposed to be born yet.
Right, he's right, but we don't know.
We don't know if he's going to be in it as
in the movie, if it's going to be just like a true life timeline of that it's just going to be like
Yeah,
a year's span a year, or it's going to span several
Yeah,
years.
because you just mentioned she's gonna be pregnant. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know about-
they had the test, the first leak test footage or teaser footage from the first, I think it was D23 or whatever, was that it was almost like a documentary style of them before they went to space. So you have to figure after they have their powers after they came back, so it has to be at least 2 years. When did she get pregnant? Within the 2 years after they came back.
It has to be after they came back because
Right.
the whole point is.
So it could be a span of 5 years that they're dealing in the universe.
But you could also have
because they're already famous. They do like the TV style from Ed Sullivan like showcase of who they are.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that whole documentary that could just be the intro to the movie.
Right.
So that way, you get caught up to speed without having to waste most of the movie on how they got their powers. It'll be like a documentary style of how they got the powers, so that you get up to
Right.
speed, and then the rest of the movie could play out.
Right, the rest of the movie can play out, but it's I'm
That stuff about being famous,
I'm-
that could just all be the beginning.
right. It's that I'm 80% agreeing with you, because if it is a documentary style, the documentary could have been from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and then but I'm saying, but either way, but in the documentary,
Well,
they
he
mentioned
could
that she was
still be-
pregnant,
he-
or
No.
they could be fighting, and then she could be like, "Reed, I'm pregnant," you know?
No, because part of the interview, not necessarily what they
the
showed in
boy's
the
a girl.
footage.
It's invisible.
Yeah, you know. God damn.
You
Can
wanna-
someone? I can't find this damn baby.
You want to see what it is? Psh, it just disappears.
You can't see this damn baby.
Look, he got a peep.
I don't need an ultrasound look.
Exactly. Just wait, see the baby right there.
But you know, part of the walkthrough, what they showed a clip
keep
of
coming
them
back to that.
saying, we always have family dinner at 7:00, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, that's also part of an interview, probably not part of the documentary, but maybe like knowing about their life. It can span a couple of years. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if Franklin's gonna be a major part of it. Spoiler, not spoiler, cameo, whatever. And then the Herald of Galactus, because Galactus came because of Franklin.
Yeah, that's disgusting. It's a perfect.
The way he
Frank-
worded it.
Franklin-
The way he worded it.
Franklin-
Franklin. Oh,
Galactus,
Franklin.
Galactus just came.
Galactus arrived because he sensed.
Still sounds
Franklin.
gross.
You know, Franklin just mentioned purity, and out came Galactus.
There you
It's
go.
like you talk about Godzilla. I got Galactus.
That's right. That's the spoiler. Godzilla's gonna be in the movie.
Godzilla's going to be in the movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna put
but,
it in right now.
Sidebar.
It's gonna be Mephisto.
Always.
Mephisto. Always Mephisto.
It's always
All
Mephisto.
Sidebar. How you guys liking cigar?
These people have no souls anyway.
No.
It's
Second
all right.
half.
You know, it's a mild. It's a mellow to mild. I mean, it's a lighter smoke. It's not a Connecticut wrapper. It's not a light wrapper. It's a medium tan. Pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, it's really good. No, like
a good afternoon day smoke.
this is a nice breakfast cigar.
Yeah, because there's like a hint of vanilla.
Yeah. Like I could have this with a cup of coffee, it'd be fine.
You got the earth tones, but then you have that hint. And I feel like it's vanilla-ish.
Vanilla.
Vanilla-ish.
Vanilla.
Like a little drop. A little tiny bit. Tasty.
I wanna see how Malkovich is gonna play out in this movie, because that's
Is he
gonna,
playing himself, or is someone in his head playing him?
right. Malkovich.
Well,
Ian John Malkovich.
That's his own universe.
so since we're playing off on ideas, switching off from Fantastic Four, going into Thunderbolts, do you guys believe or think that Bucky is gonna denounce his role as Bucky and stop being in Captain America's shadow and finally embrace the White Wolf persona and have an armor that's similar to Black Panther's, but as White Wolf going against Sentry?
Well, funny thing is, like, didn't he like completely denounce crime fighting completely, other than becoming a senator?
Senator,
Right.
yeah.
It's like I think he, I guess he was pulled back for Thunderbolts. He's gonna be pulled back into the whole fighting kind of thing. So you think he's gonna continue being like Winter Soldier, is what you're saying, or you think
no.
he's gonna
Denounce Winter Soldier.
No, I'm saying, and embrace. He's gonna quit being Winter Soldier and embrace his actual personality.
Well, he
persona.
already denounced Winter Soldier because he kind of like he therapied himself in Wakanda, and he, also with Falcon and Winter Soldier,
yeah.
he was like just in the community. He was just fine. He's no longer triggered by any of the memories. He had his little book. He was crossing the names out, making recompense to everyone. I don't think that he's. I don't think that he was called back into service. I think he like obligated himself because he was like, listen, this is something bigger than whatever the threat is going to be, because we still don't know. I mean, we know what the threat is going to be, but we don't know how expansive the threat will be. Where it's a localized thing like what the Battle of New York, or if it's something that's like, world scale,
global.
right? That he like out of obligation, he's like, okay, I gotta step in. regardless if he's a senator or not, because there's a little bit of chatter that he was already elected, he was serving in Congress, and then he left Congress to go back. I think it'd be like, okay, they need my help.
Yeah, but I mean, why the Thunderbolts though? For him,
Because
just because the Avengers weren't around, or
That's the main reason, because the Avengers are not there no more.
well, the Avengers aren't around.
Thor's off-world. Guardians are off-world. Cap is gone. We got
New Cap.
We got the new Cap. We got the new Cap.
But New Cap is,
Yeah, he's
a component of the government.
Yes,
right?
he's a component of the government. He's not the superhero level that Steve Rogers is with, Natasha and Hawkeye, because Hawkeye's gone. Hawkeye's
retired. That's
he's
it.
retired. He's done. He doesn't want to do no more of this shit.
Yeah, but let's say his daughter. It's not his daughter.
His partner.
Yeah,
For
his
the
protege.
his protege.
Protege, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
I think what he's doing is doing his own thing, and she is doing her own thing, and her thing is not on the same level.
Well, none
Also-
of it
also
is
it's-
yet, even though
also
they're
it's part
building up
of-
to Young Avengers.
Right, but it's also shadow. It's a shadow government, not shadow government, but it's a shadow op, because if it was an official operation, they would have called in new captain, right?
Yeah, the new Captain and the new Falcon. But the thing is this: them two alone can't, they don't have no Avengers roster because of the Accords. The Accords is still in play. That's
What
what
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to.
So
It's just.
It's only
It's just to
a-
come
it's-
back with the Thunderbolts. Like, I'm coming
it's-
back with a ragtag group.
because those are
Because
the only
they're
ones that
because
those are the
they're
only ones that can
expendable.
operate.
They're expendable.
They're the only ones that can operate outside of the Accords because they're non-sanctioned.
That's the Sylvester Stallone's movie.
No, that's a movie, but at the same time that they're expendables because they're the only ones using military weapons
Hashtag.
and all that other stuff.
Copyright.
Yeah, exactly. I knew he was going to get it too.
Yeah.
Expendables Part 6.
Right.
No, it's like Suicide Squad. Is
Right.
It's their type of thing. But and I said, but I'm like, I feel like he's gonna be like the veteran of the group.
He's going to be the cap of the group.
Yeah, like that. Like he's
the way they cut the trailers and all the teasers is like he attacked them, like he stopped the
truck,
the convoy of the two armored vehicles, and then he also attacked Red Guardian's limousine.
Yeah.
So it's like, was he there to? He wasn't necessarily there to stop them. He stopped the other people, but he also stopped them because they were going to do something that they couldn't fix later on.
That's what it looks. It's very.
How he got pulled in,
Yeah.
because like you got the in Captain America, the movie, in his movie, he was in it, but he wasn't fighting.
No.
It wasn't shown like he was dragged into anything. He just showed up because.
Yeah,
Because he's a dignitary now.
Yeah, but I'm saying from that movie to Thunderbolts, how he got dragged in.
That's the thing. Who's on medical leave?
Who's on medical leave?
Yeah, in the film, because right now we have Falcon's done. He's on medical leave.
Right. Falcon's
Right?
done. New Cap got his ass handed to him by the Red Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
He held his own. He held his own.
No, he held his own. But the thing is this: his vibranium suit is gone. It's demolished.
Well,
He doesn't have that no more.
An adamantium suit.
No, he's done. He's done with that. So basically,
He's gonna
whatever
mix
he was
adamantium
doing
vibranium.
moving forward, it's on hiatus at this point. It's on hiatus, and this is probably taking place directly after what happened with the Hulk, Red Hulk. So if the timeline's like literally weeks out of a time, he ain't gonna come back. He ain't got no suit. He got no wings. His wings are clipped.
Come on, we know the suit don't make the man.
It's a man makes a suit.
The man makes a suit, but
Original
it's government made,
regular
and ain't
Cap
no.
didn't have wings.
Listen, I'm sorry,
Just a shield.
ain't happening.
And the roids.
So,
I love Cap.
but this is why
Yeah.
I go back to saying, is Bucky going to take the persona and put on a suit that could combat against Sentry? Because Sentry is basically Marvel's Superman. Because that's the only way I can see it. That's like Steel going against Superman.
But see, none of them. They're all, with the exception of Ghost.
Ghost is the only one
Right,
that
with
I can see do
the-
some damage.
Right. Except of Ghost, all of them are basically street level vigilantes or operators. They're like military operators. Like none of them have any skill set to stop someone that can fly,
Thus,
and you know, and send you to a void, you know, or you know, the dark dimension or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I forgot what they call it. For him, it's the void. It is the void, but
Void.
it's not. It's not the Loki void, or it could be. Spoiler. Hashtag conspiracy.
Maybe.
But
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Right. Mephisto. They all burn in hell.
Anytime it's a conspiracy, Mephisto.
So they all burn in hell. It's king.
So that's one. That's one. And tell me, did you see what Marvel put up yesterday for 9 hours straight?
No.
Well, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, redoing his comic book cover readaptation of what he did when he was Wolverine for X-Men Last Stand.
Oh, all the memes.
With not the meme, just the comic book cover where he has the claws up and he's going like this with the
Yeah, I
finger.
know. Yeah, the Rubenstein cover.
Yeah,
and then-
Rubenstein cover that cover I'm
yeah,
talking about.
and then the McFarlane cover, and then him with the photograph of Jean Grey, like the whole meme thing. Yeah.
But real quick, because
Yeah.
I wanted to mention it. Funny thing enough with the Thunderbolts, I was down 34th Street. They have like the video banners, and they showed the Thunderbolt banner, but it wasn't like a normal one. It was like the sepia, almost black and white-ish, and they all looked battle worn. They all had
They're all
dirt
damaged
and
and
everything,
dirty, yeah.
and they just stood there and they just showed it like that. And I was like, that's a bit of a serious banner for something where we were seeing
In the trailers.
in the trailers joking
Well,
around.
I think
yeah.
that's what it is. It's a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Because that was like that banner was serious. It was they were all even
There's still the asterisks.
even
Yeah.
even Eric Guardian, he was standing there like, and he just looks like if he just came out of a fight and he's dirty and
I
he's
know.
just standing there, and I'm like,
Well, they're
shit.
fighting a Superman. They fighting a Superman. So, I get you. I get you. But what do you think about the 9 hours of Hugh Jackman?
that's cool though. I think it was cool. I mean,
He's
they
gonna
don't-
be playing it until he's 90.
Yeah.
until you're
Till you're 90.
Well, they're doing it for a reason.
Yep. I think
There's a reason why they're doing it.
because here's what I was told. Excuse me.
I
I,
mean,
could be wrong.
He's always had fun with the role, so he
Yeah.
like it's just he can't really do it until he's 90. It's a joke in the movie.
Yeah.
in the
but
movie, but
the concept is he's still got roles to play. That's
Yeah.
the whole premise. But funny enough, from what I was told, the reason why they did that instead of putting his name on the seats because they were gonna do a Wolverine movie for him after Deadpool and Wolverine, a solo Wolverine movie where he finds the rest of the X-Men and he gets ushered into the X-Men team over there. And that
I'd rather see him in Madripoor.
I would rather see him in Madripoor too as Patch. I want to see Patch.
Yeah.
sitting next to
Mr. Fix-It.
Joe Fix-It.
Joe Fix-It, but no,
Yeah.
sitting next to just
Gambit.
Bruce Banner, regular Bruce Banner.
Right. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Just as a joke.
Yeah.
Just as a joke, he's Patch, and it's just, and then they make a big deal about it. They scroll over, and it's
Mr. Fix-It's here.
and
Mr.
it-
Fix-It, and you see it, it's just Bruce.
and it's just Bruce. Yeah, that
we
would be
do.
funny.
Look. You heard it here first on Cigars and Ash. We said it first. You're gonna see Bruce Banner next to Patch, and they're gonna all be, tripping over Joe Fix-It, and next thing you know, you see.
I mean, don't
Just
throw
Banner.
a curve. He'll get up, put the hat on, and all of a sudden
He just
girls
he
into
just
it.
hulks. Yeah.
he just hulks into him.
Oh man.
See,
I got something to fix.
Yeah.
That's a stupid tagline.
I got something to fix.
He gets up and
the fix is up.
the fix is in, and he gets up and turns into him.
Oh no! I like this
God.
one. This one will work. This one works. All right, looks like I gotta fix you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
looks
That
like I
sounds-
gotta fix you.
Sounds kinky.
So
Yeah, it sounds kinky until you see him turn into a fucking gray monster.
So the tie into the X-Men, there's all kinds of CGI, whatever, Photoshop nonsense of, are they gonna have the retro animated series, but live action, yellow and blue uniforms, and everybody's comic accurate in a sense because that Wolverine is now comic accurate.
I think
I don't think it's gonna play right on the big screen.
It can.
Cyclops in the fluorescent colors.
It can depending on how you do it.
Yeah,
it depends because think about it, because he doesn't have to have the Jim Lee look.
Yeah,
right. He can have his old look.
Like original X-Men look, like OG comic.
No. Like
the
before,
blue suits
like,
and the belt.
The blue suits. All right. How about this one?
Wasn't there a picture released?
No. Astonishing.
Of James Marsden in the
comic accurate freaking
right.
Cyclops.
But wait, the comic accurate Cyclops they did in Dark Phoenix. They did that in Dark Phoenix, and they showed his costume. It looked great.
But not James Marsden.
Not James Marsden, but
I'm saying him. He showed him.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they did a Cyclops like that, and they did Beast, and they did Nightcrawler. They all had their iconic suits at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. But it's a play on the suit, kind of like what Deadpool and Wolverine is. Yeah. But I think it will be just him introduced into the X-Men, but not so much of it being an X-Men movie, but just being a Wolverine story passing through, hey, hi guys, doing kids, blah, 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 blah. And then him, kind of guiding X-23 and it being something completely different.
They...
That's what I think.
With James Marsden, people are saying that they want the scene from X-Men 97 to play out.
In real life.
They need to do that in real life. He needs to jump off, just like Cap.
Jump
off the airplane with no parachute.
And psionic blast himself to the ground.
Because people forget that his sonic blasts are concussive.
Yeah.
They're not.
It's like a punch in the face.
Yeah, it's a punch in the face.
Yeah.
It's not a beam that cuts through something.
It's not a heat. It's not a heat vision or anything. What people originally thought.
Because when they see that, people are like, "Oh, it should have burned through the ground." It's like, no, it's a concussive.
It's concussive blast.
So think of it like a juggernaut punch. That's what he's doing. So the bigger the blast, the bigger the punch.
I mean that scene in '97 was ridiculous,
dude.
To play out,
he was smooth.
He was
smooth. He was doing smooth criminal shit with his fucking concussive blast. He was like pew, 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 gliding across the whole scene with
using his blast
to move,
the momentum of his blast to move. The whole the motion counter motion thing. It's he was using it. Which is great because I was like, yeah, it's concussive. So it hits a wall. Mm-hmm. He's using the pushback, to slide back and keep going. And I was like,
oh, one of my boys hate Channing Tatum's Gambit so much. He said, I would be pissed if they give him the X-Men 97 ending for the Channing Tatum because it's too cool for him. Fucked up.
Need to let it go, man.
They do.
They need to let it go. He was good.
Look,
I was the same way. I didn't like him for the part. I was like, yo, I don't want Magic Mike to play freaking Gambit. And I said that. I have a freaking Facebook post from years ago that my cousin was like, hey, look who's playing Gambit. I was like, I don't want Magic Mike. But
it's all fan service because that's another thing. I think it was Den of Geeks or Screen Crush or something. That they were like, there was a lot of stuff that was fan service, what they would consider meta, like John Krasinski being Reed Richards was fan service because they talked about all the like fantasy casting, and so Channing Tatum being Gambit is fantasy casting, and they have to at least use them a few more times because they used them once, and to keep the the real world implication is to keep the IP. They have to use them.
They have to use them. Yeah, they have to keep using them.
Yeah,
and it's fine. But because you could always, what people argue is that he could have been Gambit there because he was a variant of Gambit. Yeah. Mind you, one that doesn't even know where he comes from. He feels like he was born there, out of place. But that was a joke.
I don't know where I came from. It feels like I've been here forever.
But they could be like, oh, they could recast him because it'll be a different variant. I go, well, give the guy the chance. That guy fought for that fucking for that character, just like Ryan Reynolds fought for that character. Right. So imagine Ryan Reynolds fighting for that character, and then they went ahead and they casted somebody else
and never casted him. Yeah, they got all the funding, all the backing, based on his teaser.
Mr. Reynolds, we don't think you're right for Deadpool.
You know, we see you more.
Danny DeVito? Yes.
Yes. There you go.
I mean,
that listen, that will be the complete total twist, because Danny DeVito is like the size of what Wolverine was supposed to be.
That's what people wanted. People like when they show the cameos. People in Deadpool,
Short King.
People wanted the short guy. When he jumped off, they were like, that should have been Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
that that should not have been a little midget guy jumping off. That should have been Danny DeVito on the stool and to jump down and just, it would have been great.
Hey, listen, Daniel Radcliffe can be Wolverine, Short King Wolverine.
People wanted him to be a Wolverine.
He's oddly jacked for a guy that played Harry Potter. You know, I mean, he grew up. Adulthood, right? You know, but he stayed fit for a reason. I don't know why, because he's been doing British comedies and all kinds of other stuff.
Well, he did Aikido, double Aikido, whatever, in the movie where the guns were bolted to his arms, to his hands. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, not yeah.
This is man. It's Aikido. I think I can't remember the name of the movie, man. I'm trying to figure. No, Aikido is that's a 1975 movie. Or the Daniel Radcliffe, right?
Yeah.
I thought you'd seen that movie. That's weird.
No.
Guns Akimbo.
Guns Akimbo, yeah.
That's where he has the guns. He wakes up with the guns freaking bolted to his hands. Mm-hmm. So you can't let go. So like that picture right there, his guns are bolted in.
Yep.
It's a good movie, actually. I enjoyed it. So he could do action.
Yeah,
I mean, the movie was a bit comedic, but it was full of action. He could do action, and people were looking at him to be Wolverine. They were like, "Oh, he could be a young Wolverine. Yeah, he's jacked enough."
Yeah, so it's because even this Wolverine, the Wolverine that was in Deadpool, wasn't from the same. It wasn't from the same Fox universe. They went to a different universe.
They went to a different universe. The Fox universe one's dead.
Right. So
he played with his bones.
So he came from a universe where the rest of the X-Men are already dead. So it wouldn't be the same universe that they're using for
Danny Radcliffe as Wolverine.
Right.
We'll have him on there. Yeah. Even with the blue and yellow suit.
It wouldn't be the same universe that they're using the current 2000 X-Men from. Unless he runs into himself or he's playing that version's self.
I mean, he's playing from a universe where he failed.
Right.
He failed. That's why he was drunk, because he failed. Everybody's dead, and he feels like he failed. So it was one we probably haven't seen. It was just a timeline that, funny enough, he pulled him out of that timeline, so he could be the
anchor being.
The anchor being of his. What happened to that timeline? He just destroyed that old timeline.
He just destroyed the timeline of where they didn't exist. You know, the timeline where they were already dead.
Where he failed, where they were already dead.
Yeah.
But screw those billions of people on that side, huh?
Hey, screw them. You know, it's like...
I said billions, but the timeline consists of...
Dust in the wind.
The funny enough, people talk about, billions of lives. And I go, no, it's like almost infinite lives, because you're talking about a timeline. That timeline includes the whole universe. Timeline just doesn't include the Earth.
The timeline. Well, the timeline. Here we get deep into the philosophical and the physics, the theoretical physics. It's the people that currently exist in that timeline and the history of that timeline. So everyone that came before.
Yeah, that whole timeline is gone. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, because they talk about, you're going to prune a timeline, kill billions? Not killing billions. What happened to all those people from other worlds? They're gone too. They exist in the same timeline. The timeline isn't specific.
So you think about intergalactically.
Well, no, just completely universal. With a timeline, everything in this universe is on the same timeline. We're not on a different timeline than, let's say, Mars.
Right.
Mars exists in our timeline. So if our timeline gets pruned, Earth is gone, Mars is gone, Jupiter's gone.
But that's operating.
Andromeda is gone.
That's operating on the premise that in that universe, that there are extraterrestrial beings.
I mean, even in real life now here,
let's
The probability that there has to be other forms
well,
of
yeah,
life.
there's was it Kepler 36, I think, where it's like the other planet in another universe that's in the Goldilocks zone.
Not universe, but other galaxy.
Galaxy, excuse me.
But now we don't have to go that far. We just got to go to one of the moons of Saturn. Is it Titan? Not Titan. Is Titan?
Europa.
Or is it Europa? The one's covered with ocean. We're sending a. Did you hear Star Talk?
Not recently.
So there's Neil deGrasse Tyson had this guy. I forgot the guy's name. So they're sending a probe to the moon of Saturn. Is it Europa?
Jupiter's moon, Europa.
Is it Jupiter then? Yeah, so it's Jupiter. My bad. So yes,
Right.
So it's one of the. So my fault. Not Saturn. It's
NASA
Jupiter.
Europa Clipper
which is cool.
mission.
It's closer.
Europa Clipper mission to explore its potential habitability.
All right. So, but he explains what they're doing. So they're
It
gonna
says-
dig because you have to dig into the ice.
Right. Subsurface ocean. Scientists believe a saltwater ocean exists beneath Europa's icy crust. I prefer stuffed crust or Parmesan crust.
Oh, yeah, garlic Parmesan crust is delicious.
Or icy crust. Potentially holding twice
Not
as
pie crust.
much water as Earth's oceans.
So they believe that under the ice there's ocean, right? So they're sending a probe, and this is what he said: it's gonna be like a snake.
That's it. We're all gonna die.
Like it's gonna be a snake. They're gonna land the probe, and like a robot snake is gonna come
Drill.
out to drill. And the reason why they say it's a snake, in case it gets stuck on something it can't drill, so it could go around. And it's gonna use AI to recognize I can't drill here. I need to go around, and it'll go around until it reaches the ocean.
I mean, Aaron Eckhart and DJ Qual solved that in the core. You know, what's on the sonar? What's it? If it's black, we don't know what black is. Black is nothing. Black is space. Oh my God, we're falling. You know, it's like they didn't factor it in.
But look, that Star Talk was interesting. That Star Talk is pretty old too. It was either months or a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Is that because on the drive home I put it on to listen, and I just put on random episodes. So you probably could find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You have to look it up, and so imagine, so because we veered off. So imagine there could be life there, as close as Europa. So if they prune a timeline, they're not only pruning the lives on Earth, they're pruning
universe.
the lives on the universe.
Right.
So when someone goes,
What-
when they go,
what
oh, you're
potentially
gonna prune
would
this
be-
timeline and destroy billions of lives, it's like, no, dude, it's more than billions.
Yeah.
Okay,
whole
well,
universe.
so
So I'm saying a timeline
This
within the timeline, it's a whole universe exists within the timeline.
This
Yeah.
is
So
what-
while I was visiting Cthulhu,
yeah.
what did I miss?
While you were dropping little brown boys in the
Right,
pool, Uh-huh.
taking Browns to the Super Bowl.
or
So the question is posed of if you delete a timeline and kill off that universe, are you just killing off the quote Earth universe, or all universes in that timeline?
the whole universe.
The whole universe
universe.
itself.
Right.
That timeline does not exist. That's all.
Whether there's signs of intelligent life in other parts that have not been discovered yet or not.
The fact that there's an infinite amount of timelines means that there is absolute possibility that there's life in pretty much every single one.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying that there's a timeline where nothing exists on Earth.
There is.
If it's infinite possibilities,
I mean, Earth developed over billions of years.
yeah, but it could be where all of a sudden conditions. Remember, conditions had to be just right. That's why people. That's where people go into the religious thing because everything had to be exactly right for the Earth to form. So there's a possibility that in the timeline it wasn't exactly right.
It wasn't exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're stuck, with two moons, or we're in a 3-sun system.
Right. The
Star Wars.
Three body problem.
the three body problem. Yeah.
Which I don't know if they're gonna continue that show.
I don't know.
They should.
It's a
the
trippy thing.
The creators in jail.
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't
for
know.
shit.
killing someone.
Oh,
What?
Look it up.
that's odd. Yeah.
He's in jail for murder.
Murder.
So I don't know if they'll continue with the show.
Anyway, so we veered off track because we both got into the actual science geekdom of something, but
Which happens.
which happens.
Which is that they're sending a probe to Europa because
Okay.
it's a ice planet. Well, I mean ice planet, ice moon.
Ice moon.
with water, with what they believe has water inside.
Uh-huh.
And during Star Talk, they're gonna send a probe and send us a snake-like robot, basically, with AI to drill to see what's in the water.
Okay.
And that's how we veered off of that because we're talking about pruning the timeline to destroy more than just the Earth, and then we just completely veered off and started
In a
talking
different
about that.
tangent, yeah, like usual.
But it was about Deadpool we were talking about while you were
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
So, but the thing to bring it back to what we were actually was talking about is that the Wolverine that was in Deadpool Wolverine
Uh-huh.
was the new anchor being
Yeah.
that came from a timeline that the rest of the X-Men were already dead.
He was a failure.
Right.
Yeah, he was a
so
failure.
if he is in Secret Wars, would he still be? Is he coming to a universe where the ones that are dead are now alive or are completely different? Because it's not going to be the X.
It's going to be a completely different.
It's not going to be the X-2000, the Fox 2000.
No.
X-Men, because there's already a Wolverine there.
Yes, there's already a Wolverine there.
Because technically, that Wolverine is the one that became Old Man Logan that died.
No, that's a different timeline altogether too.
That's what bugs me out because I thought that's what it was.
That's a different timeline altogether, too.
Not a different timeline. I thought what Keith thought.
No,
I thought he was Old Man Logan
No. So
because the
No,
kids.
I'm not talking about the new anchor being. I'm talking about Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logan, who died.
Was part of the Fox universe.
Yes and no. All those Wolverines is Fox universe.
Right.
All of them.
Yes.
So the anchor being that died, the Old Man Logan, right, is not the same Logan from the new reboot. It's not the same Logan from the new reboot. It's the original one from the first 3 films that we grew up watching.
Yes, we're talking about 2000.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
Okay, 2000s. Yeah. But it's not the same timeline that we originally thought when we had Wolverine go back in time, Days of Future Past.
Yes, right.
Because that right there is an alternate timeline.
Yes.
In itself.
In the South, yeah.
Right.
But because the way he went through time and the way he manipulated time doesn't break the law of the time being different or whatever, right? Because whatchamacallit, there's a time that everything is supposed to be, which is the sacred timeline, right? And then there's the branches. They prune branches, right? But because Loki exists and the TVA still exists from different dimensions, right? They're not pruning timelines. More so that they're basically gathering the roots from, above and below from the tree. So all this that's taking place is after that. So with Wolverine doing the subconscious time travel
Yes.
versus a physical time travel, meaning 2 separate bodies in there, he's not breaking the law as much as he is creating a new timeline in the sense of making a different choice because the future wasn't made yet. It's an unpredictable timeline.
So original trilogy would have ended up being Old Man Logan, except for the fact that Days of Future Past created the other timeline.
Bingo.
Okay, so
So
then if we go back, I mean, this is gonna get a little washy because we know, like I said, it's fan service. It's it's a fan casting of bringing the original 2000 X-Men back. Is it they're gonna bring back the OG leather suit ones? I'm not saying that they're gonna wear the leather suit ones, but the original trilogy X-Men, are going to be back, and not the ones from the
That's the plan.
end result of the Days of Future Past.
That's the plan.
Because it's still the same physical characters, same actors. Just it's just a different sequence of events.
That's the plan. Because remember, there's 3 timelines in X-Men.
In the Fox universe.
No, not Fox universe. In just X-Men. Period.
Well,
Three X-Men timelines.
Well, they're still all Fox universe.
No.
They are still all Fox universe because Dark Phoenix and First Class and all of that was
I'm gonna
all
break
Fox.
it down. I'm gonna break it down.
Fox multiverse.
Yeah, the Fox multiverse. But I'm gonna break it down for just the X-Men portion alone, right? And this is based solely on Logan, right? So our timeline is all the way up to where Days of Future Past is, right? The first 3 X-Men, right? And I'm going to correct myself. Logan is not that Wolverine. Because
Logan is not that Wolverine.
No, because Days of Future Past had occurred, right? And that's due to our timeline that we already know and love. The first 3 movies, X-Men 2 United, and X-Men 3 Last Stand. Then Days of Future Past happened. What happened in Days of Future Past? They kind of had to rearrange the timeline so it had to edit itself. Right? So that timeline technically gets erased.
The timeline from the
original gets erased.
Yes.
Because when Logan wakes up again and he's in the campus, he sees Scott alive.
Mm-hmm. He sees
everybody alive. But this Scott...
And he says to Professor, the professor says to him, don't you have a class to teach?
Exactly.
And he says, well, I have a problem. The history that I know, the history I remember may not be the same history. And he says, you're back. He says, you're back.
Yeah.
It's funny, no, the Professor X remembers.
Yeah, he remembers everything too because he also went back in time to talk to himself.
So
he had the mental projection. He didn't go back.
So how we got to pruning the lines was Deadpool took that Wolverine out of his timeline to become the new anchor in his timeline. So what happens to Wolverine's old timeline? They don't have an anchor now. It gets destroyed.
They don't need the anchor no more because he's not there. You're right. It gets destroyed.
Just like because Deadpool's timeline was being destroyed because Wolverine was anchor and Wolverine died. So that's why he bought that's the whole story is that's why he bought the other Wolverine. So now the other Wolverine is missing from that timeline.
And that timeline's gone.
That timeline is going to be destroyed.
So that's 2 X-Men timelines erased already.
That's what we're saying.
Because,
it's erased
because here's the thing. X-Men's First Class, right, is Deadpool's universe, which is crazy.
Yeah, I remember when he was talking and we can't afford any other X-Men or whatever. And they went in the room and they closed the door.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
This is why it gets confusing because Deadpool's timeline is X-Men First Class. Our original Deadpool X-Men is gone. That timeline's erased already. But there's the second timeline that we don't see, which is the timeline that goes into Doomsday, which is the timeline continuing after Days of Future Past.
With our original X-Men.
Exactly.
Right. Not necessarily the same storyline, but the original X-Men.
Yes. So there's still 2 parallel timelines, which one leads into Days of Future from Days of Future Past, and the ones from First Class. That's still parallel. Deadpool is in the First Class. Here's how: Quicksilver, Cyclops, Beast, Professor, Colossus. Colossus is the big key there.
Okay, so I have to object because it was a completely different Colossus.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's different. They're all different. The only one, McAvoy or Stewart, they're playing along that this is the young version, this is the old version. That's how they're playing it with them. But Colossus is 2 different people.
Right.
Completely. Like from appearance, everything.
No, but here's the thing. There was a Colossus in the OG trilogy.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not disputing that.
It's not the same Colossus. You're saying that the Colossus that was in Deadpool was the eventual timeline of First Class.
The one in Deadpool is the same one in First Class.
Okay, that became the one in First Class.
Yes, the one in Deadpool is the same one in First Class.
He wasn't in First Class.
He wasn't in First Class. That's that's what I'm making the connections.
Okay.
But the old Colossus is still technically existing, right? With the rest of the old crew in that dual timeline that was created in Days of Future Past. So technically, our characters still exist, but their story technically ended. Which is fucking bananas. Because they fucked up the timeline quick.
The Fox universe is all screwed.
Well, I mean, that's why I think they were getting rid of the timelines like in Deadpool.
And then they put
because they're moving it to the MCU where it's gonna be more stable.
Not even, because you're talking different timelines. It's no different than multiverse.
It make sense.
Different timelines, multiverse.
No,
right?
Yeah, tape it down.
So timelines, different points of time happening, things will always be the same regardless, right? Multiverse, things will be the same with different choices.
But look, that's why I laughed when they mentioned in Endgame when they mentioned, time traveling is not like Back to the Future.
No,
but it was like Back to the Future.
No. It was.
Wait, listen.
Because they were like, it's not like Back to the Future. Oh, but it was.
And then
you
they
went back and you created a B
Power
timeline.
Love.
They created a B.
Yeah,
they did.
Right.
Especially when Loki disappeared.
I'm going to throw a big wrench in your works right now.
All right, let's go.
Okay. First Class.
Keep the wrench.
First Class, yeah.
Okay. Different timeline.
Different timeline, yes.
Different universe.
Yes.
Okay. When Magneto was in the mansion with
Mystique,
and he was like, I want to see the real you. And she changed to the older version
of herself,
which was Rebecca Romaine Stamos. That's a different universe.
Bingo. That's the universe that's question. That's the one that's in question that blends in the Logan. That's the one that blends in the Logan.
So it's not. It's thought that it's gonna be. That's gonna be her future self, but it's. I mean, if it's not.
No, it's not.
How did she replicate someone that wasn't eventually going to be part of that universe?
She could still be, because even though it's a different timeline, it could be the same looking people.
No,
in a different timeline.
But that's the thing. How many people do we have multiverses of that have the same exact looking people versus the ones that are different?
There's way more of the people that look the same than there is people that look different.
Because Juggernaut and Juggernaut are not the same.
None of the three.
If you're talking about X-Men, then
yeah,
they were all
Spider-Man. None of them are the same.
That yes, Sony property. But yeah, that's the whole point. When he went to the MCU, he was one of the few that each Peter Parker was different. They recognized who he was, but in the MCU, most of the people that was multiversal
are the same physical being.
Yeah. So most. That's why it's like it's funny because like it bit confusing because then you're like, so what are you saying that the Tom Holland Peter Parker is the only Peter Parker that looks like Tom Holland, and then every other multiversal Peter Parker looks different?
Well, okay, so let me put it this way, okay, because we've only been witness to the three universes that we were able to see. Because
the three they called the other two that they called to help.
So the thing about multiverse theory, not just in movies, but the actual multiverse theory is that they're just like, I mean, we can go back to a TV show, Sliders, right?
True.
Where things just develop differently, right? So somebody, it just means other people got bit by the spider, and these were the three that showed up.
But there happened to be Peter Parker.
They were
that had an Aunt May and an Uncle Ben.
That's what I'm saying. It's Peter Parker.
It's too close, Mitch. But
it's because even in Sliders, there are episodes where the singer was famous and it's him.
Right.
And he came to that world and he's like, oh, everybody knew who he was because it's the same person.
But it's only the universes that we were witness to.
Well,
okay.
the ones they gave us in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So
because always in the beginning of the show, they're always hopping out in the beginning, and at the end, they're always hopping out from another universe.
Right. So the other possibilities that we don't see are, there can still be a Aunt May and an Uncle Ben and a Peter Parker, but they look differently because they married somebody else and their kids became a different Parker, a different Aunt May, and so on. Maybe they just look differently because Aunt May, Marissa Tomei,
doesn't look like the Aunt May from before.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But also we're talking about.
it could be another family, just a sequence of another family that.
But then again, well, no, because
I'm
Peter Parker was supposed to be in high school.
I'm talking about the genetic probability of people looking the same in other universes. It's like it's
timelines.
Right, all of that
Well,
nonsense.
yeah,
it's
infinite.
It's infinite. That, like, who's to say that you married the same person in your timeline and have the same kid that looks exactly the same? That's
true too, because Andrew doesn't have a MJ.
No,
Andrew has no MJ. He only has
MJ.
Gwen Stacy, and she's
Right.
Kaputskis.
Yeah.
So other than Spider-Man, MCU basically Rick and Morty does then.
Yeah.
So in Rick and Morty, he always talks about different universes, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always saying the finite universe. Rick mentions the finite universe. Later on in the show, they show you exactly what he meant. There is infinite universes, but Rick closed off
A lot of those.
all the universes where he wasn't the smartest person in the universe.
Right.
So that's why it was finite, because he only had a finite number of universes where he was the smartest person.
Right.
Other
Where
than-
he developed to be who he was.
Yeah. So he closed off the universes where Rick could have looked differently, or Morty would look differently, because he didn't create portal technology, or he wasn't the smartest one, or So that's what the MCU is pretty much doing, is where everybody looks the same in the multiverse, but the exception was like Peter Parker.
Peter Parker
Was one of the exceptions. One of the few exceptions.
One of the few exceptions, but that means that that could placate for Doctor Doom. That could also go for Captain America, because he's returning, but we don't know if he's reprising his role.
Captain Hydra.
Captain Hydra.
He's not. Wink.
Wink.
Hasn't been announced. Wink.
Well, yeah, it's not
Chris
Evans.
Chris Evans has been like, oh no, I closed that chapter. Wink.
Yeah.
He comes back
Listen,
as
Deadpool said it best.
As Human Torch, as Captain America.
Yeah, because if you look at his outfit, it's
Avengers,
Captain America outfit.
Flame on.
Well,
He flies around the shield.
This is another one of those bugs that eats at my brain. Is that in Deadpool Wolverine? Yes, he was Johnny Storm from the original Fantastic Four, but he had the cap, belt, pants, and boots on.
And boots, I had boots, yeah.
He had caps, belt, boots, and everything on. So okay.
It was to throw you off.
It was to throw you off.
He found the boots and put them on because now he's in the desert
He
area.
probably saw a version of himself like, I like you.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
And then he got X'd out.
But yeah, I mean, because it was all the timelines that got voided over whatever. So maybe he just rummaged the boots and pants for. But that's another book. I'm like, but he's got. Fucking Johnny Storm didn't have a fucking utility belt.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. He has caps, pants, and boots on.
Yep.
He found them. Look, and you know how they have little pictures and stuff of like the Hulk world?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I would love to for them to show that, and fucking all the Hulks are CGI,
Yeah.
except for Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno shows up in the green paint with the wings. That would be
He doesn't even say anything.
That was such. Well, he was already the grunt.
Yeah.
He was the Hulk's grunts and yells. That was him.
No, but I'm saying he doesn't even say anything. He just jumps out of random places like freaking Mortal Kombat.
What's wrong with that Hulk? He's a little slow.
No, he just jumps out of nowhere. Like I'm thinking of the other video game, Street Fighter. Street Fighter Blanca. He just and then it just jumps off somewhere.
What's wrong with that Hulk? He's a little slow.
Well, see, I would like to see Lou Ferrigno come back as Maestro, right?
That's why everybody wants.
But the thing is this: I want them to give them the CGI treatment. Give respect to him, 'cause obviously body and everything. He can't be that big.
But it's his.
But it's his demeanor,
voice.
his
the way
voice.
he speaks is going to be a bit off.
Well,
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. He's a Hulk, but if he speaks with that accent and
I don't think he'll. I don't know him personally, but I don't think he would allow them just to use his voice and not his likeness.
Well, I mean, he allowed him to use his voice for the Hulk.
yeah,
The Hulk screams and grunts. That was him.
that's all him.
Right? No, but I mean, like if you know.
So he was the Hulk.
If you're gonna bring me back for something, really,
It was Mark Ruffalo's look, but it was his voice.
Yeah.
When he was throwing cars around in the original Avengers.
Yeah, but the size of Lou Ferrigno comparative to the rest of the universes is the smallest one. Mm-hmm. So I don't see him physically being Maestro, and I don't think Lou Ferrigno would just
he said
CGI him.
But what I was saying was it'll be nice to just have a cameo of him in the Hulk world. Just like he's there, or he's walking away and they kind of pass by me here.
Yeah, but see,
I just see him with the brown pants, the ripped up brown pants.
No, but see,
because remember that wasn't Bruce Banner.
No, that was David Banner.
That was David Banner. That's a
David Bruce Banner.
That's a
alliteration.
That's an alternate
version. That's a multiverse thing.
That's an alternate version of it.
That's because Stan Lee couldn't remember what the hell he said the first time. And he's
David
like, David Banner,
Bruce?
It's David Bruce Banner, or Bruce
David Banner
or something, or some shit. Because all the characters is like the alliteration is Happy Hogan, Bruce Banner, Pepper Potts, like the whole thing. They did a whole skit on it and Big Bang Theory.
It's alright because he did. Funny enough, Stan Lee did the same thing with Peter Parker.
Yeah, because he was
he accidentally wrote Peter Palmer.
Palmer. Yeah, Palmer.
And what I love is that in one of the recent storylines, where he's supposed to be the Spider-Man, the number one, the anchor being
prime Spider-Man.
And then they were, and when he was killed, they thought it was over, and they go, no, we have another one. They were like, what? So he was a prototype.
Yeah, that's Palmer.
That Parker came from, and they're like, who is he? And it's fucking Peter Palmer. It's the mistake. The mistake that he made. They used it as him being the prime Spider-Man, which was great. So that's why the Spider-Verse didn't destroy the webbing, the web the cosmic web, the
web of time and destiny.
That holds them all together wasn't destroyed because Peter Palmer still existed, which was great.
But to go back to the Hulk world variants. Something that I would like to see, loose ends tied up is who's Scar's mother. One, how does that whole world operate if they're all Hulks? Because does Hulk exist without the gamma radiation in that world, and it's just a world of Hulks because there was no accident to create them?
Well, see, the way I think of it is the way they're gonna do Scar is just keep it ambiguous, right? Just so that way they could save for time. But if they were supposed to do something, they could do a quick, history of Scar, just saying, "Oh yeah, my father was, the Green Scar. He basically was, running shit, as the Gladiator and stuff like that. Yeah. And my mom was a gladiator too." And one thing led to another, and he left off world, and that's why I am here and whatnot. But he came back, and she didn't die. In comics, she died. But
about Bruce,
no,
he's not your son. And it's
he's my son,
and it's Lou Ferrigno.
That's funny.
I'm sorry, just keep throwing them because I know from what I've been reading, everybody's just Lou Ferrigno gotta be in it. Lou Ferrigno gotta be in it. And you know how Marvel is.
They'll listen.
They'll listen and they'll throw a cameo of him in there somehow. They did it with Wolverine.
Cavalrine.
Cavalrine.
Yeah, Cavalrine, man.
They did it with that when people were like, "Oh, he should be there," and then all of a sudden, cameo.
Funny enough, I recently got a third-party head sculpt of Old Man Logan based on the comics using Hugh Jackman's likeness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's him with the gritted teeth, angry face, and he has a red shirt. All I need to do is get the body for him and throw that on. So I'm over here thinking, which figure I could use and stuff like that, because I want to use a seamless body just so that way the silhouette looks good. But yeah, shoot.
Let's talk about these movies, man. So we saw a Minecraft movie.
I did too.
So I took.
Okay, I don't know
No, you don't-
anything about Minecraft.
No.
you're
Listen. We
gonna
have
be-
the star in front of us.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So my
Ex-
toy is popular. I couldn't even buy my own toy.
exclusivity. Right
If
here.
you go out there and you have a Steve toy, that's me. Just to let you guys, exactly me.
And we ain't joking. He could be his stunt double. That's how
gonna-
good he looks.
I got the
His
toy.
accuracy.
When it comes in, I'll take a picture with me and the toy, and I'll post it up
That'll be the thumbnail.
just so you can see what I'm talking about. But no, I took my daughter to see it. She wanted. She's the one that was excited to see it. It's going nuts. But the good thing is,
I just know that it's like, you build a world and everything's blocky and you have this weird looking pixelated axe. That's all I know.
that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. It's a sandbox game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, but with what's going on in the theaters, the people going nuts, throwing popcorn.
Right. Well, that's what I mean, that I don't know anything about it, 'cause they're like-
no, but they're
They're
doing that as
calling
a
cops.
joke.
They're calling cops and
But
everything.
these are teens doing it as a joke.
Yeah.
They're doing that as a joke. It made so much money, not because the movie was great, but because these kids were buying tickets just to do that stuff that they did in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
That's seriously
They're
that's what
doing it to recreate what they saw.
I took my daughter, and I was like, God, man, I hope it's not like that. And lucky enough, it wasn't like that.
Same for
People
me.
were going
It was
nuts. I was like,
was
thank
nice.
God,
It was
dude,
nice.
'cause I was like, I don't want to start punching out teenagers.
But I'm mad. I missed out on the fucking popcorn bucket.
Oh, but you went to what? To what movie theater?
I went to the one by my house.
Oh no, yeah, but they had what? What was the popcorn bucket?
It was the green one, the green little zombie thing.
The chicken jockey.
the chicken. Is it the chicken jockey? I think it's the.
The little green zombie.
Yeah,
on the
but
chicken.
but it
You
looks,
can remove
but it doesn't look like him. It looks like the way it is in the game.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
blocky, yeah. No, the one they had at AMC was just a square tin. So
Square
it was
tin?
like the blocks,
Yeah.
like a dirt block or a grass block,
Yeah.
and it was that. So I didn't get
No,
it. But it came with the dog.
Oh,
Plushie
okay.
of the dog. But I was like, I'm not gonna get this. There's nowhere to put it. I got Cap Shield already.
See, I would have got the blocky for the dog for what was his name,
Dennis.
and got it for my daughter. She thought it was nice, and every time my daughter saw you, and she didn't see you, but she saw fucking Jack Black, she's like, Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey, yes.
yo, the commercial came up earlier before he went to pick me up, right? And my daughter screamed, "It's Uncle Joey!" My wife looks up like, "Oh," and she started smiling because, dude, literally, that's your cosplay for Comic-Con this year.
I'll do it because
Perfect.
all I have to do is get
Blue
green
jeans,
shirt.
blue shirt.
I got
Green
jeans.
shirt. I thought they had a green shirt.
No,
No, it's like a bluish blue shirt.
it's like a light blue, almost turquoise.
Okay.
But it's a whatchamacallit. He has regular shirts and he has the one with the fucking golf shirt, the
Yeah, polo.
polo. So
But dude, they're releasing the Jack Black figure, Jack Black skin for the game. It still looks like me,
Of course.
a blocky version.
That's all we got to do, man. I'm telling you. We're gonna
do that.
go
Dude,
through the crowd.
I get the shirt. That's it, I'm done.
We're gonna create a perimeter around you. It's like, no, step back, no pictures, no autographs.
I just gotta do the memes.
Yeah.
I just gotta go. You know what I should do? That'd be such an dressed up like Jack Black from Minecraft Steve with the Infinity Glove,
yeah,
and then go I am Steve. I am Iron Man, and just snap.
but you know what's so cool? Because when you go to con, they're gonna have those fucking swords over there.
I wonder if I go dressed up, someone will be like, "Oh, you can have it for free."
There you go.
Give it to my daughter. I was like, I gotta get a little. You know what I could get her? The little chicken
Ooh.
that looks like you're on top of it or whatever.
Riding
running
the
around.
chicken, yeah.
And then just have her with green paint. She could be the chicken jockey running around.
No,
chicken.
scratch that. Just walk around with a cosmic cube.
Me.
Yeah. Because the cube,
Oh, no, it's the orb.
it's the orb, but the cube, that's why I said cosmic cube, because we don't have the orb.
In the movie, they call it an orb. And he goes, but it's a cube.
Right.
He goes, everything's a cube here. He goes, everything's a cube here. It's an orb. It's like they're confused. It's a cube.
Oh my god, yo, dude! If you dress up like that, I'm get a wig. Listen,
I can dress up like that. It's easy. All I have to do is get the sweater. I get the beard.
He doesn't need a wig. He has long hair.
Well, yeah.
No. I'll get a wig. I'll get a wig and glasses and the jacket, and I'll be Jason Momoa. Yeah, I'll dead ass do it with you, bro. Just
yeah, I'll go.
Yo, I'll go get the mutton chop beard.
It's better than wearing the spandex that you wanted me to wear. That movie, the Santa Claus movie where he's Satan.
Right.
Yeah.
He wanted me to wear the spandex.
Dear Satan. Yeah.
He wanted me to wear the spandex.
Yeah,
and I was like,
just
I'm not
fucking
wearing
with
the
it, though.
spandex.
Dude, you can do it. You can get away with it.
Nah, he came out of Steve.
Steve is much better.
If you go to New York Comic Con this year, look out for me because the guy that looks almost exactly like Jack Black with a dressed up as Steve, it's gonna be me.
Dude, I'm gonna make sure we have some moose for your ass. We're gonna get some fucking.
I could buy the sweater now. Go to Amazon.
No, dude,
Steve costume.
You better bring your hot comb for your face. Keep that beard straight, bro.
Boy, his beard was pushed up like that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the front. Bring that shit down a little bit.
Yeah,
But you know what would be even funnier? You know how they have those invisible dogs and it's really just a wire you're holding with the leash? Why don't you have Dennis at the end of it? And hold Dennis.
Hold
Dennis like that. Just Dennis.
I gotta.
Yo, I'm telling you
these
right
sweaters
now,
aren't that right. I gotta find the right sweater.
Shit. You're gonna make me look it up later today and be like, yo, here we go.
Because I got the blocky ones.
No.
I'm not wearing the blocky ones.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll have Pam wear this creeper dress. It's so stupid. I just throw out the meme lines. I'll just be like, first we mine and then we craft. Let's Minecraft and just have people take pictures and go nuts.
That's all you need.
Steve's Lava Chicken. I don't know the song though.
There you go.
You found the sweater?
I found the shirt.
That's a shirt. I was looking at it for Steve's shirt. He don't have a collar.
He has a long sleeve shirt? I thought he was a short sleeve.
No, it's short sleeve, but it doesn't have a collar.
It doesn't?
No.
Let me double check this because I'm losing my mind here.
You can go ahead. Yeah, after the movie, Pam started asking me questions. Oh, the zombies.
Oh,
why do they all look like Steve? I go, I don't know. I don't know.
Steve
Minecraft.
created
I don't know.
it.
Dude, I have no idea. Why does zombies look like Steve? I have no idea. Dude, it's see, look, it's freaking the toy sold out. No one can buy it nowhere.
There you go.
Let me see.
Who knew it was gonna hit so hard?
Yeah, no.
So
People talk so terrible about it, and it's
a V-neck.
No, well, kinda.
Yeah, he has like a turtleneck and a V-neck on it. Look,
It's a V-neck shirt.
yeah, it's a V-neck sweater with the turtleneck.
Oh, I see the chicken becoming
Oh no! Let me,
juicy.
Hold on, I got you. All right. Look at it. Look. Right there.
Yeah, cause it's a weird kind of sweater.
Yeah.
There we go. I found it.
Found it? All right, cool.
Yeah.
So
Right
it's
there, yeah.
official.
Yeah,
Potato Joe. Yeah, there you go. There you
There you
goes. Potato Joe is gonna go as Steve.
Double XL, because
What was Trash Man? There you go.
no, garbage.
Garbage Man. Yeah, but that's why I said Trash Man.
Yeah, the whole movie was that everybody that went to this world couldn't quite make it in this world.
Yeah.
Like
the rejects.
like the garbage man, like just Momoa's character.
Yeah.
He was stuck in the past. He was 1989 video game champion of the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then so he's from a small town, so he owns a used video game.
Underachievers.
Yeah, not really, because the black chick, I forgot her name. She was a cab driver, but she had a mobile zoo. She had like 3 or 4 jobs to try to make it.
Yeah.
And then the kids, the girl and the boy, they lost their mom, so they were trying. They moved to a place that she's going to work. She's going to work the social media of a big company because she's young, and they're going to try to pull through because it's only them now, or whatever. So they all had some type of tragedy, where they believe they couldn't make it in this world.
Say that again.
Tragedy.
Okay. Tragedy.
I don't know.
Oh, this guy.
I don't know if I said that. I think you heard it. We're gonna replay that back. But so that's all it really was. The movie was that they felt like they couldn't make it, like they were outcasts of this world.
Okay.
And then they go to the Minecraft world, and they're awesome there. And they're like, oh, this is amazing. That's what happened to Steve. Steve wanted to work the mines since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And when he was a kid,
He made him.
he couldn't work the mines because
He was
a kid.
too young.
There was a sign.
Black lung.
No, there was. I got the black lung. There's a sign that said no kids allowed in the mine. So he
Yeah.
went.
Old
and
man
grew up,
scare him.
and he got an office job. So I'm looking. I'm like, oh, that's what I do. And I get a cubicle, and he's working a boring ass job. And then he said, I hate this life, so I'm gonna go back into the mines. And
Yeah.
then he found the cube, put it or the orb, put it
orb
together,
with,
and he
a
opened up the
casing.
portal to the Minecraft world.
Now, do cube. So if everything's a cube, are boxes double cubed?
Cube squared.
Cube square. They're sharp corners.
So fun enough, they call the cube an orb because everything's cubes there.
Yeah.
But the ender eyes are round.
Ender eyes around.
But if you look at it, it's because they're small cubes.
Small cubes
turned
inside
into a
it.
circle.
Yeah.
Into a sphere. So it's like it's confusing. But that's
It's
the whole
it's a
running
bunch
joke.
of little. It's pixelated. It's
So
pixelated
what
circles.
you're saying is that there is a flat Earth and it's just in that world.
It's just in that world. That's a flat Earth because
It's a cubed Earth.
you can keep going straight. Yeah, it's but I think it's more like literally flat where you just go on forever in one line and you can never reach the end.
Oh, I found this cosplay. The Garbage Man. I'm doing it.
Oh, you did find it.
Yeah, I did find it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the wig. I'm gonna let the beard grow. That's it. It's over.
We're doing Sunday, the family day.
Yeah.
We'll go dressed that way. Well, I'll just go all 4 days dressed that way because it's a sweater, so I'll just wear that. You do have. Lucky for me, all I need is one piece.
Well, I already got the jeans.
The
I got the sneakers.
The beard ain't going nowhere.
I got a shirt.
I could grow my hair from now to October, and a pair of jeans and sneakers. I could wear whatever sneakers. Doesn't matter.
I'll hit the gym just so I can have the upper sculpt and leave my gut hanging out. And my wife was like, "Why you letting your beard grow?"
Even with my gut, I can leave it.
I'm gonna let my beard grow for like 2 months.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
what are you doing? I'm going to be the Garbage Man.
I don't look like any characters. So I'm just gonna go.
Oh, but it's gonna be probably family day. On Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
You know how the girls like to dress up, and then we. Go
I'm not gonna. Be
I know
there
who he
anyway.
is. He's the Minecraft guy. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. He's the villager.
The
And I'm
villager.
like, hey, you can be the villager.
Yeah.
At the end, you marry Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
Deal.
All you need is a big nose
A bulbous nose.
Mm-hmm.
and a robe. That's it.
What's his? Damn. What's his? Plath. Something Plath. He was in
Literally, this
Bicentennial Man and Lake Placid. He had the bulbous nose.
this right here. That's who you're gonna be right there. I think they called him Nitwit, right?
Nitwits, yeah.
And then you don't have to talk. Just go. But so the movie wasn't anything to talk about.
Your shirt's
But for the
$30,
kids,
bro.
Yeah, it's
my,
30
my,
bucks.
my whole outfit's almost 200.
It's only $30 in the shirt, so it's not a big deal. $30 is good. So the movie was more, for my kid. She's the one that was excited. She was going nuts, and this was the first time she sat there
Quietly?
for like 2 hours. Amazing, not quietly, because she was like, "Oh no, the witch is gonna win. Oh, are they gonna die?"
All right.
I love how he explains the movie. Every 20 minutes is nightfall.
Yeah, every 20 minutes is nightfall, and then the zombies come out.
Yeah, there's no dusk or dawn. It's just straight up turn
Pitch
black.
black.
Yeah,
Pitch
turn them black.
That's. I mean, I've never been a gamer to begin with, but that's the one current game reference that I have no idea about. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, you know what game I've been on since you want to talk about games for a second? Marvel Rivals. That fucking game is balls to the wall crazy, bro. It's basically Overwatch with Marvel characters, and dude,
What's Overwatch?
It's basically
He's an ass. He's an ass.
Number v number of
Yeah.
people, like Call of Duty and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it has its own story, and you have to read it to get the story, and you also get panels from a comic, so you get to read through the panels and see through the panels and stuff. But
I haven't played that either.
it's freaking dope. Venom's origin ties into who was it? It was oh shit, was it Mantis? I forgot. It was one of the females. They tie in, and basically a symbiote killed her entire family, and he's there. And one of the universes that they go to, they have to stop Clintar, like the stuff in Clintar. You playing with the lighter again, aren't you?
No. I gotta make sure I take it because last time I left the stick. Last week I left the lighter. I'm taking both this time.
Oh shit, yo.
Nah, man, I just been playing zombie games on the VR,
See,
which is cool. But I'm afraid I'm gonna swing and hit something.
Yeah.
But I'm on the couch, so I'm sitting because there's a seated mode, so you can sit down. And I'm like, oh, but then like, it's way too involved now. Oh, there's a ladder. You have to climb the ladder, and I have to literally. So in the game, it looks cool. It looks like I'm climbing a ladder. But if you probably see me with my headset on, I'm doing this. I'm just like flailing my arms in the air. That's all I'm doing. And I have to look ridiculous to someone just watching me play.
Of course. The whole VR thing is like, is it anything like you see all the memes and the videos of like people trying to walk a steady beam and then they like think they're gonna fall down and they have a fucking spasm?
I think that's just made or they, I don't know, man, because I'm like, no, I don't even get up. I sit down, I recline. I have my feet up. I recline.
He says I recline.
I'm like just shooting zombies, pew, 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 reload, pew, pew, and I'm climbing. I look like I'm flailing in the air. Like that's all that I do. I don't know. I mean, there is a fitness app on it I got where you box, but even that,
he could do it in his recliner.
Nah. Yeah, I'm just saying they're going duck, weave. Oh man, my arms are tired. But even that standing up, they don't tell you to move anywhere. It comes to you and you got to swing it out the way. Little balls come to you, and you don't want balls on your face, so you have to smack them away.
Or do you?
I don't know. That's a whole different app.
That's the advanced gameplay.
That's you forgot the button, didn't you?
No.
So yeah, you're supposed to put that.
I think it's B.
Yeah. But yeah, guys. So that's our little talk and rant about our theories and stuff like that. Gonna get a new cigar next week and not take from Keith's soon to be named Adventures.
To be named later.
Yeah, soon to be named.
I'm actually thinking about doing another Instagram just because I'm getting a lot of those spam, whatever the hell's, and I'm like delete. Like,
yeah,
the idea of my Instagram of Keith Adventures is just like the rest of my life is to be ironic. Okay, random.
All his pictures is him on the couch or in the bed sleeping. That's
right, exactly.
That's his adventures.
Like I really don't post anything. My adventures have ended in the concept that they were. This is the other part of my life, which is just nothing.
Just him on the couch, his legs up, asleep.
Word.
No, man. The Instagram I'm getting is fake like OF accounts liking my pictures, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I got that.
I'm like, who's this person? I click on it. Visit my OF. What the no?
Yeah, listen. I'll tell you
like
this.
every other guy and look up your name and /leaks and find, and find your photos for free.
It's funny. Me and my boys was on a live stream at the same time. We all got notifications on Instagram, right, from the same person for an OF account. It's fucking hilarious, bro.
They liking photos now. Oh, and the thing is, like, the picture of my daughter, and they like it, and I'm like, ew. You got blocked for that.
Shit. So, real quick, everybody's getting hyped over the tariffs and toy collecting and how it's going to affect toy collecting stuff. But we're going to get more into that next week because it's time for us to say adieu. Yep. And ciao.
Cigars are done. So we're done.
We already smoked our cigars, and it's all ash, baby. So I enjoyed that cigar. That cigar was really nice. I could have a cup of coffee with that cigar. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like
after dinner cigar.
Well,
listen, after dinner cigar. Yeah,
might be a replay the next episode because I've got another 20 of them.
Oh, word. Say less. We're gonna drink your whiskey too.
sure. You know,
Sure.
I'm gonna put
long
the
as you
tip.
bring a bottle.
I'm gonna put the tip jar on the table, or
You
bring-
put the tip jar on the table.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna full of trash.
It's
Just
gonna
Yeah,
be BYOB. You know,
Bring your beer. Bring your bev. But
should be
yeah.
BYOC.
Hey.
Bring your cigars.
So
That's right, man. It's your turn next week. I bought last. This time it was my stash
Yeah.
last week.
it was
Your
his stash this week, and it's my turn to go get cigars. So we have to go to Mom's.
The only one that doesn't have a stash.
Yeah.
Can you believe that, people? Can you believe that?
Well, I don't have a
kind of cigar
stash.
person are you with no stash?
I'm like a diabolical person with one
Shame.
mustache.
Or like McFarlane said, I'm a unicorn.
I'm a unicorn.
I'm a unicorn, baby.
unicorn.
I'm a
The
unicorn.
only one, the only IP out there.
No,
Well, I had a
no.
Funko Pop.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I'm your boy Loco Lou,
Keith to be named later.
Just Joe.
and just Joe.
Drop the potato.
All right, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay loved, stay blessed, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.